Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the North Broward Preparatory School here in Coconut Creek, Florida. My name is Sam Gelfand, the voice of the Eagles, joined as always by my good friend and broadcast colleague Ben Curtis. And we'd like to welcome you to this very special night, this senior night, this final home game of the regular season between your North Broward Eagles and the visiting St. Andrew Scots.
Certainly, Sam, always a special occasion when you get to recognize those seniors who have brought so much to the North Broward program. Tonight we honor three of them. They had a nice pregame ceremony before the game started. Ty Marsh, Raul Kennard, and Dylan Ogozeli all being honored tonight before the game, and we'll keep an eye on them all night long to see how they perform on their night, this senior night against St. Andrews.
Also, I just want to give a shout-out to Jack Strochek throughout the first pitch. He's a third grader here from the mound. Perfect strike on the outside corner.
I could not do that when I was in 6th grade, Sam.
I couldn't do that when I was out of high school. I can't do that now.
We just want to know for you, and thank you so much for tuning in, that the video is about a half of a second delayed between the actual pitch and what you see on the screen. So just think of it as your own personal little instant replay as we bring to you North Broward and St. Andrews.
This is going to be an exciting one. North Broward 9-14, St. Andrews Scots 3-12. Dusty Snyder is on the mound for your Eagles tonight. Snyder's had himself a pretty decent season, wouldn't you say?
Well, he's been very reliable both on the mound and in the 9 spot for Brian Campbell. We'll talk about him a little bit more after you announce this at bat.
Leading off for the Scots, number 7, Brett Hodgman.
As you said, Sam, Snyder's been very reliable. The freshman, 3.36 ERA, leads North Broward. He's thrown 22 innings for the Eagles, gave up 12 runs total, 15 walks, 13 Ks. So good to see that control, that balls on bases to strikeouts ratio is in check for Snyder. 6 wild pitches, though. That's something that he has to keep an eye on.
So leading off for the Scots will be number 7, Grant Hodgman. He's batting .250 with 7 RBIs on the year. He is tied for the lead in the league with 3 third bases triples so far. Having a little difficulty reading the notes, it seems. As he's not playing third base, he is catching. Unusual to see a speedy catcher, and we are underway with the strike down the middle from Snyder.
Well, we were just talking about the previous couple games about this rise in the catcher position of more speedy, more athletic guys.
Makes contacts right to Edwards, the shortstop, picks it up, throws it over to first, and we have 1 out down here in Coconut Creek. Now batting number 14, Owen Notman.
And so hopefully by now you can see about the pace of which the video lags behind the audio. We will be working on it all night long to try to bring to you as close as we can to live action. But thank you so much for joining us here on Brainwash Sports Twitch TV.
Well, considering our issues we had last time where we just couldn't get the actual stream going, I'd certainly take a half-second delay for a consistent broadcast.
Knock on wood, Sam.
Is this table wood?
It's
I'm
plastic.
knocking anyway. I'm knocking anyway.
Couldn't hurt.
Swings at it. It's now 1-1 to number 14, Owen Notman.
Good to see Snyder. First 4 pitches, 3 of them were strikes.
Here's the pitch. Another swing and a miss. 1-2 now. Notman's only batting .120 this year. He does have a home run, 2 RBIs, and a stolen base.
He's been more reliable for them on the bump than at the plate this year, Sam.
Looks at the ball low now, 2-2.
Maxwell Costello is the ace of the St. Andrews squad, at least in terms of the pitching staff. He will not be pitching tonight, most likely. He threw 6 innings of very nice baseball last time out.
Fouls it off, still 2-2. You think he prefers to be called Max Costello or Maxwell Costello? If I had to guess, I'd think he'd want to be called Max. You should have checked.
Well, you know what? The official website says that Maxwell, so that's what we're going with.
All right, Maxwell Costello. Finds a ball, full count. I think that Notman started walking towards the dugout almost thinking that it was a strike himself.
Well, even though Snyder has missed more here in this second at bat, there haven't been bad misses right around the strike zone.
Strike 3, low in the zone, set down. That'll bring up Jason Otis.
Now batting number 13,
So now Otis will step up to the plate, as I just said, over the PA system, because we all have multiple jobs here as Ben adjusts the camera. Otis is certainly the batting leader on this team, batting .372, a home run, 6 RBIs, 7 stolen bases. That one is high for a ball. If he does get on base during this game, you're going to want to watch out for that.
Well, he's been the leader across the board. As you mentioned, Sam, that .372 batting average has really been what has kept the Scots in a lot of games.
Fouls off 1-1. Also curious, if we don't think we have any statistics on how North Broward handles base runners in terms of throwing out stolen bases.
Well, Logan Clyde's been pretty reliable behind the plate. It's been those wild pitches that have really been what's hurt North Broward on the defensive side. For Jason Otis, however, at the plate, only a junior, and when you look at the St. Andrews lineup, that's really a trend. A lot of youth on this team.
High 2-1 now. Very young team, St. Andrews.
Total of 4 seniors, only 2 of which are regulars in the starting lineup.
Also on the lineup, there's a 7th grader and 2 8th graders, including one of those 8th graders who is batting.
He's DHing tonight. That's
batting 8th.
That's Sam Krasson.
3-1 now to Otis. Fouls it off, full count.
So assuming that Snyder is still in the game when he gets to that 8th spot in the lineup, and Sam Krasson, that will be a freshman pitching to an 8th grader in a varsity showdown. That will be fun to see.
Absolutely. Full count, 2 outs, no one on base. Here it comes to Otis. Outside of the strike zone, he's going to take his base, bringing up Carbone. Stepping up to bat, number 18, Michael Carbone. So now Carbone will take some hacks.
He's been fairly reliable as well, those 7 RBIs tied for the team lead along with Grant Hodgman. 256 batting average. I'm sure you'd like to see that up a little bit, but in that 4 spot, you're looking for power all the way.
Snyder finds a sign. Breaking ball inside. Called a strike, though, at the very last minute. I was fooled. You know, you see umpires sometimes really like to build up the dramatic tension before calling for a strike.
Logan Clyde did a good job of holding that baseball as well in the spot.
That one was low, though, 1-1.
Too often you see catchers, you catch it and throw right back to the pitcher. Sometimes if you hold it just a little bit longer, give that umpire a little bit longer to think about it, you may buy yourself a strike.
So it's 1-1 with 2 outs and a runner on first. As mentioned, Otis has 7 stolen bases, and he takes off here. Clyde throws down, and he got him by a mile. The running tag by Xavier Edwards, and that ends the top of the first. We'll be right back with the bottom of the first right here, Brainwash Sports Twitch TV. Don't go anywhere. And we're back. Ty Marsh leading things off for your North Broward Eagles in this game against the St. Andrews Scots. Once again, tonight is senior night. Ty Marsh, one of the seniors we're honoring. Number 3 has certainly been a very important contributor to North Broward's team this year as he looks at that first one for a ball. 383, 9 RBIs, a stolen base, and a reliable leadoff hitter.
You talk about reliable, talk about leading the league in at-bats with 81. He has been there for North Broward every step of the way this year.
Ball inside. The pitcher for St. Andrews is Scott Gelman, number 24. Why don't you tell us a little bit about him?
Well, he's the 4 on this St. Andrews pitching staff. 9 innings pitched, 18 earned runs total. Bit of trouble with a walks to strikeouts ratio, 16 walks to 9 strikeouts.
Ball's hit down the middle. Diving grab by the second baseman. Is it in time? No. Marsh has himself a base hit to start things off for the Eagles.
Gesellman's ERA and whip, Gelman, ERA and whip, also a little bit odd. 14.0 is his ERA, but a whip of only 1.5. So when those runners get on, they are very likely to score.
I think you made the same mistake I had to stop myself from doing once or twice, confusing him with Robert Gesellman.
Absolutely, the Mets
New
pitcher.
York Mets roster. He's having a little bit of trouble at the start of this season, but then again, so are the Mets in general. As they always do. No, Edwards steps into the box. Gelman sets up. In the dirt, gets away from the catcher. Marsh is going to advance to second. So a 1-0 count now to Edwards. And North Broward now has a base runner in scoring position on only a few pitches from Gelman.
If Xavier Edwards gets on, he is a threat to run. 9 stolen bases.
Umpire
12.
calls a balk. And now with only 1 pitch in this at-bat, Ty Marsh has advanced from first to third.
And the situation here for Xavier Edwards completely changes. Before, he's just looking to put a ball in play, hope to advance the runner. Now a productive out scores the first run of the game for North Broward.
Edwards batting .391, doesn't like to get out that often. That one's outside 2-0. I have to wonder if the balk was called due to Gelman has a bit of a funky delivery.
He does. It's a bit unusual. I think it was a start-stop infraction that was the problem for the balk. But regardless, he's got to pitch very carefully now.
3-0 now. You notice he's got the leg all the way to the side. He is kind of a strange kick and firing motion, almost like, you know, how drunken boxing is a style of fight.
I have to wonder if Xavier Edwards has the green light here.
Well, he's going to take his first strike, 3-1.
With Goberville and Client to follow for North Broward, it doesn't get any easier for Gelman. So I have to imagine he's going to have to start pouring strikes now.
Here's the pitch. That's a ball, and Edwards is going to take his base. Goberville is going to step up now.
Well, Goberville's really been fantastic for North Broward this year. .410 batting average, just jumps off the page when you see it. He's got one of those 3 home runs for North Broward, 21 RBIs. That's tied for second on the team. Obviously, Chase McBean, who we'll talk about a little bit later, has had a really impressive season in the RBI category, but Goberville has been really solid in that 3 spot.
21 RBIs is incredibly impressive. How many games do they even play? Edwards is going to take off. There's going to be no throw, and he's got second base standing up.
Well, this is game 24 for North Broward.
So think of that, 21 RBIs in 24 games. That is productivity.
Including a walk-off one to beat St. Brendan a couple games ago.
That was a lot of fun.
Infield moving in for St. Andrews in the first inning.
Makes contact towards the base of the bat. Easy pop-off to the third baseman, and Goberville is going to be North Broward's first out of this game, bringing up Logan Client.
Well, pretty. Go ahead, Sam.